Hey guys, I am nap trapped. I've got my little baby here, and so you might see a hand reach up every now and then. Let's hope I can get a little bit more time. So I'm making this video because I'm trying to be much more intentional about making my videos. It's something I enjoy doing. I like sharing my perspective, and I'm also using it as kind of a vlog of sorts. I have some ideas, but they will evolve before you because I have not put them on paper yet. But I do have the paper and I do have the pen right there. And my intention in creating these videos is to just like keep it real and share some of the ups and downs of my life as a mom and a homeschooler and a wife and a curvy woman who wants to look like a supermodel one day. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what plodding along and putting one foot in front of the other results in. But this is who I am today, and I believe in blooming where I'm planted, and that is just what I'm going to do with all the droughts and storms and sunny days that come my way. I will bloom. So buckle up. I'm trying to buckle up at least, but I don't know where the buckle is. You know how that is, like what that feels like at times. I was telling God the other day, like, I am all prayed out. This is one of the most difficult seasons I think I have had as an adult, with a few exceptions, like in my single years where I was just exceptionally lonely. But finances have been strained. Our business has just kind of taken a nosedive, and we can't really figure out why. Like, we've been assessing it and asking questions, and I have come to the conclusion, and Brandon has come to the conclusion. We have a little argument about who came to this conclusion first. Regardless, we believe that it is actually God. It's easy to say, okay, I think the devil is attacking me. This has to be Satan. But no, we think God is making us, and not, I wouldn't know. This is where I stumble in the phrasing, because I don't think it's necessarily God doing it. But I do believe it is God allowing it in his goodness, in his mercy, because of his empowerment and his grace within our lives, to become uncomfortable, because he disciplines those who he loves. And I think one form of discipline is allowing the discomfort and the struggle and the frustration of inconvenience and provision and things like that to draw us to a place where we are willing to examine our hearts and our motives and who we are before him. And I'm going to be honest, in this season, it's been about 10 months of struggle for us. And in this season, the things that I have seen about my heart concern me. At my best, I am standing in faith, and I am praising God, and I am grateful and having an awesome day, super productive and hopeful and yada yada. But at my worst, I'm questioning God, and I'm questioning my husband, and I am critical and harsh and resentful and angry and fear-driven and impulsive. And, you know, that's just the reality of the situation. Like, whenever you're really going through a challenging season, and this is kind of like, I'd say, the biggest challenge that we've been through so far in our marriage. And it's caused me to get to the point where I'm questioning, like, what's holding our marriage together, and why are we married, and why do we want to be married, and what do we want our lives to look like moving forward. And I think there's a lot of value in that, because it sifts out the things that have no business being in your marriage, or even the values that have no business, that maybe you didn't even realize you held in your heart before the struggle. And it reveals your truest motives. And when those motives are good, it's encouraging, because it's like, okay, I really am who I thought I was. But when those motives are not good and you realize, wow, like, I really put a lot more security in paying the bills than I should have, or I really was using the freedom I had. I haven't had a car in a year. My transmission died and we just haven't been able to replace it. But it's like, wow, I really put a lot of security in keeping my schedule busy. And when I had a car, I kept myself so busy that I didn't have to face character issues that I have that come between me and Brandon. I could just fill the schedule and then we'd never see each other. And we didn't have the arguments, but I didn't have to deal with the issues. And so I don't think that these things are a bad thing. I just want to say that I think sometimes struggle can be used to say, hey, you need to grow in this way. And it's not necessarily in solving the problems. I think sometimes the problems are irrelevant in I guess whenever you're looking at the whole picture, and whenever you're looking at the areas where, like, okay, it doesn't really matter if I have a car, or if my phone is working, or if Brandon's computer and my phone broke at the same time. So we've been sharing electronic devices, which has also been like a whole new level of sharing for us. Brandon is a great sharer, but I am not. And I have had to learn so much about sharing over the last 3 years. Like, no thank you. God, stop blessing me with all of this opportunity to learn to share, please. You know what I mean? And he just keeps doing it. And so, like, we're basically like sharing all of our food now, and we're sharing our phone, and we're sharing our computer, and we're sharing our schedules, and we're sitting together all the time. And I'm just like, okay, maybe this isn't a bad thing, because now I see exactly how selfish, there's a fly, I am. And I see how mean I can be. And I see how harsh I can be. And I see the things about Brandon that need to grow also, and I have to choose to love him and choose to engage with him and choose relationship, even when it is very discouraging and frustrating to see the places in his life that need to grow and mature and evolve. But he's done that for me. He's loved me this whole time, and I think that's what marriage is about. And I think that that's one of the things that I'm so grateful for. It doesn't have to be perfect to be good, and it doesn't have to be good even to be valuable. And I'm just so grateful to God for the opportunity to have these struggles and these problems that end up only blessing us and making us stronger and growing our character and challenging us to decide, do I really want to be the person who I say I am? You know what I mean? Because I don't think we always are. And I don't think it's intentional. I don't think it's deceitful. I think I say I'm this person. I say I'm the kind of woman who's happy in my marriage and who wants to love my husband no matter what, and who stands by my man even when times get tough. And then when those times do get tough and you're threatened and you've got kids, and things like that, it's like, And then you're griping at your husband and asking if he's really doing everything that he could be doing. Or, there's real conversations that you don't want people to hear you have. And we've had a lot of those conversations lately. And I feel like in those moments, I get to say, okay, hold on. And maybe sometimes we have the conversation and Brandon says, are you who you say you are? And I'm saying the same thing. Are you who you say you are? Buster, and that's where we get to look at ourselves and say, no, I guess I'm not who I say I am. I guess I'm not the kind of person who believes in you or who chooses to believe the best in you. I'm not loving to you. I am not generous with you. I'm operating out of fear right now. I'm planning out of fear right now. How can we come together as a couple and plan in faith, or even just sit in this situation together in faith, knowing that it's not going to be like this forever? Knowing that there is a breakthrough, that a good God is actually behind the scenes, that he knows all, that he's involved in all of this, and that maybe this is even by his will. Maybe this challenge and these frustrations are actually God's mercy and his grace operating in our lives, growing us into better versions of ourselves, building into a legacy for our children so that when they get married, they have the strength to fall back on what we are learning today, and we have the humility to guide them through it graciously and kindly and lovingly, because we know what it's like. That's the kind of woman I want to be, and it is not the kind of woman that I am all the time, but it is the kind of woman who I am growing to be because of these situations. And so thanks for listening. I hope that it inspires you to know that there's other people out there who have a happy marriage that isn't perfect and that is a struggle. And that there are people out there who own businesses, and even though they have great service and even though, they're doing their best, maybe it's hard to get the clients. Maybe it's a challenge. Maybe all of the hard work isn't always it doesn't always translate. No matter how hard you work, no matter how well you do, sometimes it does not translate into the success that you want. And maybe that's not necessarily your fault. I think there is a culture within the business world where they say, oh, if you just do X, Y, and Z, your business will soar and you'll be successful. And then it's easy for people to look at you if all those efforts and following all of those instructions do not result in what the business coach promises or in what, the YouTuber promises, then it's like, well, what did you do wrong? Or what did you do that failed? And sometimes I'm very quick to examine and point out what I did wrong and identify it. And I think that there is always room for coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I also think there are times where it is just God closing doors and opening new ones, or God slowing us down. Because he says, I care more about your heart and I care more about your character than I do your success, because I define success in ways that transcend this earth and that transcend this moment and that transcend time. And I am building an equity within who you are as a person through that business. I am not building a business that is meant to last. Like, when we all die and go to heaven, It's not our businesses, it is how our businesses impacted us and how it impacted other people. And I think times like this are kind of like those quarterly planning, goal strategizing meetings that you have where you're like, okay, what are the goals? What are the values? Where are we going this quarter? And for me, this season is what are the goals? What are the values? How am I growing my heart? How am I positioning myself to become a better mom and a better wife and a better businesswoman and a more intentional person and a better neighbor? And I believe that God is involved in the tough times for those reasons. And I just hope and pray that I learn the lesson, and I pray that I learn it quick. You know what I mean? So, I hope to make more videos, and I have not nailed down exactly what topics I want to cover. But here's some ideas that I'm going to talk about for the rest of this video, and then I'm going to go make dinner for my family. With my HelloFresh boxes that arrived today, thank God. I was worried we weren't going to get them this week, but we were able to. And I love HelloFresh. It's not that much more than shopping in the grocery store. It's zero waste, which I cannot do if I shop at the store. There is this dog sitter out walking, and she lost the dogs. I met her the other day, and I see her, and she's looking around like she's looking for the dogs. So, anyway, HelloFresh is incredible. So there might be some talk about that in future videos. I want to document my body transfer. Whoa, Kai, don't worry, you didn't see anything, it just came close. I want to worry I don't want to worry. I want to document the transformation of this body of mine from having these babies and getting fat over the years, because there's a supermodel in there somewhere, and I'm gonna try to find it. I want to document my homesteading adventures. I've got a full garden. I've got chickens that are on an egg-laying strike, so I have locked them up until they start producing. We are buckling down with these ladies, but it's also very hot, so they might just be very hot. But I want to do that. I have a messy basement that I thought could be fun to kind of go through the process just like as a vlog. What else? There's always talking about marriage, like this video, how to make a happy marriage. And I really think it would be fun to have Brandon in on some of those videos. So there's marriage, and I'm probably going to become a homeschooling mom. I don't know. I've never seen myself as hi Kai, smiling. I've never seen myself as the kind of person who would thrive as a homeschooling parent, but I have a very smart little girl, and she's just desperate to like learn whatever I will teach her. So and I'm using ChatGPT to do all of this, guys, like, and that's a whole nother conversation, like how to utilize ChatGPT in my garden and with my chickens and my kids and in my marriage. Brandon hates it. So, or maybe how not to use it in your marriage could be a topic for a fun video. I don't know, we'll see. But stand by, because I'm going to make a list. I am going to make some video topics, and then I'm going to just jump in and see like how it goes, but no promises, because I am like a crazy busy mama over here just trying to hang in there. like I think most people. So I'm gonna go see if this dog sitter needs a hand, and I'll talk to you guys later.